Tornado warning is on it yet. We want to give you folks at home the heads up that we do have a severe thunderstorm warning. And here it is, Pulaski County. This includes all of Little Rock and Sherwood and Jacksonville. Right now the cell is still located with that area right there dipping down toward Benton. This is the area of concern. We may see some further rotation, but the wind and the hail and the very heavy rainfall now moving out of Saline County into Pulaski County, and this storm keeps gathering strength. That's why I've decided let's go ahead and join those of you at home that might be curious as to what's happening. We have had severe weather earlier tonight. We've had tornado warnings. We've had numerous severe thunderstorm warnings in now Pulaski County and a little part of Lone Oak and Saline County under that severe thunderstorm warning, not to be outdone. There's a little part of Faulkner County that's under this warning. Cell continues to strengthen. The tops of the storm continue to grow, showing further strengthening and a lot of lightning. Nathan just took lightning off, but this is the area that we're keeping a close eye on that's riding along I-30. There's Benton. Right now over Kentucky, Arkansas, near Avila and Salem. This is a severe thunderstorm warning, but we're keeping a close eye on things. National Weather Service may decide that, to up it. Right now it's hail, and the hail size is quarter in diameter, maybe a little bit bigger than that if that's actually reaching the ground. So we just wanted to go ahead and make sure everybody's safe out there. Thank you for joining us on Facebook and YouTube. Nathan Scott again joining us. It's been a long day for Nathan. Nathan was here earlier this evening when the storms got a little feisty around dinner time, allowed me to go home, grab a bite to eat. By the time I took a bite of food, we had tornado warnings. These things develop and have been developing pretty quickly tonight, Nathan.
Including this cell that's affecting Saline County right now, Tom, because that was just a heavy shower that developed over Garland County, but it got its act together really quickly. And we'll just take a look at the radar loop over the past hour, and you can see how quickly this cell has developed. It was just a little bit of just a few rain showers over Garland County, and then look what happened. It just really got its act together and has certainly become more of a supercell structure. And what we mean by that is you can clearly see the signature that we look at on radar. It's got that hook to it. It's got the precipitation going into a V form away from the hook. And that tells us as a meteorologist, this is a serious storm and it could get nasty very quickly. It's already quite ugly because of all the lightning and thunder. Lots of cloud-to-ground lightning with this, and you can see here from our view 11, we are facing off to the southwest from on top the Simmons Bank building, and it is just almost a strobe light effect with all that lightning. And when you have a lot of lightning within a storm, that tells us it's a very strong updraft. This cell is continuing to intensify. Looking at the cloud tops, it's 50,000 feet. You saw a bolt of lightning there well in the distance. And this is the only cell that we're concerned about right now across the THV11 viewing area. There's still that cell making its way through White County into Woodruff County, and that still has a little bit of a hook echo with it as well. When we take a look at the rotation with that, just to make sure that one's behaving itself, we're not seeing any real rotation with that cell. Nonetheless, it could still produce some gusty winds. And then when we take a look at the hail detector, not really producing much in the form of hail. It's going to be this cell that is moving right into the Little Rock Metro. It's going to get loud out there. And with all the thunder and lightning, and we also have to watch out for that potential, if this rotation continues to pick up, then the severe thunderstorm warning will be upgraded to a tornado warning. Right now, the rotation not looking too significant, but as we've seen throughout the course of the evening, things can certainly change very quickly.
Yeah, it's fairly broad right now. Some very heavy rainfall, some strong wind gusts. Still broad, but it is showing that classic shape, that the hook echo shape that we talk about quite a bit. So that's why, let's go ahead and come on. There's going to be folks going to be awakened by all the thunder and lightning. It's a severe thunderstorm warning. Saline into Pulaski County right now. That cell is just north of Benton, affecting Avila and western parts of the Little Rock area, those western neighborhoods. In the western part of the city. The cell is moving to the east-northeast and will be over downtown Little Rock shortly. The warning is in effect until midnight tonight. You can see lots of lightning with this cell. That's one of the things, rapid intensification with it. And it's it's gathering some strength. It's kind of on its own. It began to develop a couple of hours ago around the noon news time. And this is what it's become now. So yeah, we're keeping a close eye on it. No tornado warning yet, but certainly a severe cell that could produce some strong wind gusts or some rain. We have a shot from Benton. Perry, our director, saying, hey, he's going to take us down to Benton real quick. Looking to the west, and we'd probably have to look a little more to the north to see the thunder and lightning. We might see a few flashes there. It looks dry right now on I-30. That could change here momentarily. That's the RView11 camera, the Pella RView11 camera looking west. Lots of lightning with this. If you're just waking up, went to bed, getting up because of the loud thunderstorms, that's why Nathan and I are here for you tonight to walk you through what's going on. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect till midnight for Saline, Pulaski, southern Faulkner, and a little bit of Lonoke County as another supercell thunderstorm continues to gather strength. It's moving to the east-northeast and will be moving over downtown Little Rock. Looks like the heavy rain part of this and maybe even some hail will be moving over let's say the Financial Center Parkway out to Highway 10, West Little Rock, this area. Here's the 430 area, the river, and this is where Cantrell Road is, Highway 10. So this is going to be between Highway 10 and I-30. And again, this is the concern. It's beginning to wrap up a little bit more. The Weather Service not yet with a tornado warning, but certainly one of those situations. We've been through this time and time before, late at night. And these thunderstorms wake you up. You just want to know what's going on. So that's why Nathan and I are here. And Nathan's a trooper tonight. Storm motion turning east versus northeast. Not the best rotation at lowest tilt, but still looks like it's rotating a little bit there, Nathan. So we're going to keep an eye on it. It's going to move over the I-30 corridor here shortly.
And Tom, we have to keep in mind that this part of the state has not been affected by any storm. So therefore, the atmosphere is still prime for the potential of severe weather. And that's why the National Weather Service went ahead and said, we're going to keep the tornado watch until 3 o'clock in the morning. And once this cell moves out, I think we're done with the threat of severe weather. But considering it is 11:30, we'll still have the potential of severe weather probably 12:30, maybe as late as 1 o'clock here in Little Rock Metro, with this cell progressing its way off to the east and northeast. Where you see the darker reds, that's where it's torrential rain at this time, maybe even some hail, pea to dime size. We're not looking at too much in the form of a large hail when we take a look at the Hail Now tool. All this light blue is primarily going to be pea to dime size hail for the most part. There could be some quarter size hail, but certainly Martindale seeing some small hail most likely, Salem. And once again, if you're seeing hail, report it to us. 501-376-1111 is going to be one of the best ways to get those storm reports to us, and that we can show them on air for tomorrow morning if things get really crazy in terms of hail. We had hail, what was that, just a couple weeks ago when we had hail through the overnight hours that produced quite large hail in some parts of the region. Anytime you have a supercell thunderstorm, you do have the potential of seeing large hail, but we also have that threat with the rotation in place. There's enough wind shear in the atmosphere, or when we talk about winds from the surface, the cloud level, they change in direction and speed, and that allows for the updrafts to rotate within these storms, and that has been the case out there through the course of the evening. But fortunately, once again, we have not gotten any confirmed tornadoes from those earlier tornado warnings. However, it looks like there were a few reports of funnel clouds, Tom.
There's a shot from Benton, that shot we had a few seconds ago. So the rain has started there. Perry, I'd like you to go to Max 2 real quick. I do want to update folks on the tornado watches that we have until 3 o'clock in the morning that do include Saline, Pulaski, Lonoke County, Prairie County, Faulkner County, White County here in central Arkansas. So when you find Max 2, we'll go there. And I'll also, once again, tell you the best way to follow us. Are you getting it there for me? Max 2, please. All right, there you go. There's the tornado watches and warnings that we have. It is a tornado watch until 3 o'clock. And what we probably want to do at this point, although there's not a tornado warning, let's go ahead. Let's go to the main channel. Let's go ahead and interrupt programming, and that way we can inform a lot more people that might be up. So let's give you a second, Perry. Take us to the main channel right now on YouTube and Facebook. We're going to go ahead and go live on THV11 with this severe thunderstorm warning. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. And we're going to stand by for just a second. Well, good evening. Tom Brannon along with Nathan Scott. We're tracking a severe thunderstorm moving through Pulaski and Saline counties tonight that does have us a little concerned, showing some rotation. For those of you that are up with us, you were just joining us on maybe Facebook or our YouTube channel. We're now on THV11. We do apologize for interrupting the latter part of Stephen Colbert tonight. But since we have a very strong to severe thunderstorm moving into Pulaski County, wanted to alert folks out there. This is a storm that we've been watching develop over the last hour or so, becoming supercellular in structure. Looks like a little bit more real estate has been added with this, and we'll update you in just a few moments. It's a severe thunderstorm warning initially until midnight for Saline and Pulaski County, a little bit of Faulkner and Lonoke counties as well, for the likelihood of seeing some strong winds and some large hail. So we're going to track it for you. We're going to take it down to the surface, show you what's going on. Lots of lightning with this storm, and if you look closely, one of the telltale signs that it's strengthening, got a little bit of an appendage here. Classic supercell shape with that little appendage riding along I-30. So let's go to our wind mode, Nathan, find out how the winds are looking in this cell right now, and we'll be able to tell pretty much if we've got it, if it's tightening up. It's been broad, but it looks like it might be a little tighter there near the Benton area along I-30 tonight.
Let's rewind this, Tom, and take a look at it over the past several scans, because you notice that severe thunderstorm warning has been adjusted down to the south and southeast. You can almost see how the winds kind of turn there. That little swirl with the couplet goes through Kentucky and just to the south of Salem, and then it kind of turns. So that's why the National Weather Service has made that decision and has decided to carry that severe thunderstorm warning into Bauxite and Sardis and East End. It's something we have to watch. Again, the tornado threat is very, very low at this time, but anytime you have a supercell structure, and you can clearly see that here once again, because we have the hook echo or the wraparound effect with the rain and hail
right in here,
going right around pretty close to Benton. So this hook echo signature is going to make its way probably through Bryant, Bauxite, Sardis, East End, and maybe Iron Springs. If you're watching us in those locations, just be prepared. You know, it's not too early to go ahead and make sure the shoes are close, make sure the pets are close, make sure that the kids are ready to get up, just in case they issue a tornado warning. It is almost, 11:30. I'm sure a lot of people are asleep. But anytime you have the situation of a supercell developing in the middle of the night, and we've already had tornado warnings this evening,
right here,
and we still have the potential out there, we just want you to go ahead and take the safest route. Be prepared. Just get ready, just in case.
Just in case. Now, you mentioned the real estate that's been added, shifting more to the east, southeast. That still includes a large part of central Arkansas. Let me give you the idea. Saline County, most of Pulaski County. You've got a little sliver there of Jefferson County, a little sliver of Grant, and it extends over into Lonoke County. And there you go. There's the area, the real estate that's included tonight till midnight and to 12:15 with this developing supercell thunderstorm that does have the possibility and capability of producing some very large hail, and we're keeping a close eye on it. Although we haven't had the reports of tornadoes tonight, we've had several tornado warnings. If we can jump back to Max 2, I've got the hail now on. Perry, if you don't mind, please. We'll show you where some of the hail could be occurring. It could be quarter-sized or maybe even a little bit smaller than that. So hail, strong wind gusts of about 60 miles per hour possible with this supercell thunderstorm, this severe thunderstorm. There you go. Thank you much. The hail out over West Little Rock, extending along I-430, I-30 near Alexander, and this is moving to the east. And a few moments ago, we saw that the tail end of that, or that hook echo, weak rotation, but strong enough to warrant kind of a, hey, let's jump on and let folks know what's happening. That's what we have currently. Another cell in eastern Arkansas that was the original supercell thunderstorm, beginning to push away from the THV11 viewing area into the Memphis viewing area tonight. So we're just, hey, Nathan and I are here. We just wanted to make sure you're safe at home. Have your safe place ready. Make sure you've got your phones charged up in case they do decide to pull the trigger on this and make it a tornado warning.
Tom, let's go back to Max 1 now, because I just want to highlight that. Once again, when we take a look at the different types of warnings, This is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible. So it's got more of that construction orange type color versus the lighter orange color. And that basically says the National Weather Service is watching this very closely. It's showing enough rotation to warrant the tornado possibility, but not enough to warrant a tornado warning. They'll continue to watch each radar scan, as well as we will. And if we see that rotation continue to pick up, then the chance of the storm producing a tornado will increase. We're not seeing that at this time, but when we take a look at the winds, there was certainly a little bit of rotation, and then it made its way more into a gust front type situation. But we know supercells go through cycles, so this could be going through a cycle at this time. Until we see the actual structure of this cell weaken, and what I mean is I don't want to see that hook echo anymore. We'll continue to be on our guard for that potential of not only large hail, damaging wind gusts, but also still that chance there could be a tornado if this cell continues to increase in intensity. So we have to watch out between Benton and Alexander, where that hook echo is, where that appendage is. That's where there's a lot of warm and moist air being drawn into this storm cell. And there you see the reds and yellows. That is the rain and hail from the updraft getting thrown in that direction with the storm motion, just because an updraft is so strong. And then it's a tilted updraft. That's what a supercell is. It has a tilted updraft, and that's why you see that appendage happening around Benton, and then the precipitation shield spreads out over Pulaski County. We've got moderate to heavy rain happening here in downtown Little Rock, and once again, this thing is just packed with a lot of lightning, especially right through Alexander. Not too much happening in Benton with the lightning and thunder, but certainly Alexander. I mean, we zoom in and we can query this. Hopefully the lightning is not striking trees and homes and stuff like that, but seeing that much lightning in that short a distance, we'll just take a little query here. Alexander, Shannon Hills, and we have over 100 lightning strikes in the past 10 minutes. So that is some very impressive lightning happening in that part of Pulaski County and Saline County. And this is going to continue to push its way off to the east. So looking at the rest of the state, this is the only cell. It is pretty quiet across most of Arkansas. This is the only cell that we're concerned about. And of course, it's going to be over the most populated area of the state, right over Little Rock Metro. That cell we were watching earlier in Woodruff County has weakened below severe limits. So we're just going to continue to concentrate over this cell, right over, once again, the Little Rock Metro. It's a hook echo, so you just have to be on your guard.
Let's do this. Let's take away the camera shot. Go back wide so we can get, there we go, thank you. There's the hook echo right there. Now the hook part of it is just to the south of I-30. Strongest cell, the other severe thunderstorm warning has been canceled, so we're going to ride this one out as it moves through downtown Little Rock. It's moving very slowly to the east-northeast, 25-30 miles per hour at the max. You're going to get some heavy rain. It's raining heavily along the I-30-430 split, raining pretty heavily out there toward Alexander. Northern extent of it, 40 to 430, getting some heavy rainfall. Wind gusts may be pretty high with it. Right now, severe thunderstorm warning. It's just this little appendage. This is what has us concerned. Every supercell tonight, there you go. Every supercell tonight has had that appendage, and thankfully and luckily we have not had a report of any tornado report, or confirmed report, but we have had some reports of power outages and trees down and some power lines down. So these storms will still have quite a bit of wind energy with them. There it is, the hook near Bryant now. So severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Saline County and Bryant, Alexander up to Mablevale. This part of the storm is shifting more easterly, with the top end of it shifting away more to the northeast. So it's covering up a lot of ground, a lot of real estate tonight, and that's why we're on with you, just to make sure that you know what's going on and that you can keep the family safe. Not under a tornado warning, not yet. We're keeping a close eye on that. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until midnight tonight and until 12:15 for that other area. It's about 9 miles away from East End. I know East End has been, it seems like, picked on lately with a lot of these cells. One moved out of Garland County, Nathan.
Yeah, and Tom, I was showing that also because look how far the lightning is striking outside of the rain shield of this cell. So
yeah.
It's not even raining in East End, but there's lightning strikes happening in East End, Iron Springs, approaching Wrightsville. You want to keep that in mind for Memorial Day weekend, okay? We always tell you hear thunder, head indoors. This is the reason why, because lightning, and it can be deadly, can happen before the storm arrives in terms of the rain and wind, and there you see clear proof. It can travel 9, 10, as much as 15 miles away from the rain base of a storm in some cases. So you don't want to mess around with lightning, even if the storm is not severe. Any storm can produce a deadly lightning strike, and we're going to have that threat of storms going into Memorial Day weekend. And some of the storms could also pack a punch, Tom, because we do have the potential of still some strong to severe thunderstorms for Saturday, also into Sunday. We are just starting out on a very active weather pattern that will stick around for the next several days. One cell, it's certainly showcasing its strength right now, right over downtown Little Rock. Heavy rain, lots of lightning and thunder. You might have heard the thunder on our mics just about a couple minutes ago, and there you see a live view right outside our studio looking into the THV11 weather garden. So the gardens are getting a good drink of water at this time. That's, always nice. Of course, we don't want too much rain, and that will also be, I think, a concern, Tom, because if we get more of these clusters of showers and storms, there's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. These are going to be very efficient rainfall producers, and if they get stuck in one location, then some areas could see certainly 2, 3, 4 inches of rain in a short amount of time, and we'll have to be concerned about flash flooding potential, smaller creeks and streams, low-lying areas, poor drainage areas, and also any other areas susceptible to flash flooding. So be aware of that possibility. There's a lot to watch out for over the next several days.
Yeah, lots of rain expected. Our forecast models indicating between now and Sunday into Monday, some places could pick up 6, 7 inches of rain or even more than that. Well, tonight it's a severe thunderstorm warning that is covering up the Little Rock metro area. That does include Saline County, a portion of northern Jefferson. You've got Lonoke County, a part of Faulkner County. It's a supercell thunderstorm that has evolved over the last hour or so. And what's really caught our attention is that it's ramping up a little bit. No tornado warning, but we were keeping an eye on that appendage here that is now just east of Bryant. And let me just say this, the D's would indicate, we've got W's and D's, Walmart, Dollar General. If you know where the Dollar General store is in your location, it just helps us to pinpoint where you could say have some rotation or some large hail. Right now, with the appendage here, just to the east of Bryant, riding along and south of I-30, you've got your Dollar General stores out there, north of Iron Springs, Sardis, East End. Nathan showed you the lightning way out ahead of the storm. So lots of hazards with this severe thunderstorm as it's moving to the east. I want to take a quick look at Max 2, Mr. Perry, if you don't mind firing that up. The hail core with this cell is not nearly as impressive as it was, but we are still showing some areas where we could have some hail near Alexander. This is I-30, Benton, Alexander area. 430, the split there, most of it's here. Lots of very heavy rain and possibly some pretty strong wind gusts. And this is the real estate over Pulaski County. This is not including northwestern Pulaski. It does include eastern Saline, northern parts of Jefferson, a little part of Grant, eastern Lonoke County, and it's crawling very slowly to the east at about 25 to 30 miles per hour. And again, tonight, the reason we're on here is, we've already had a couple of 3 supercell thunderstorms that had tornado warnings on them. This is just get ahead of what's going on here at 11:41 at night. Probably going to carry over this storm into Lonoke County a little bit later on tonight. Not a bad idea to make sure you have your safe place ready to go just in case. One thing I do want to mention, Nathan had up a tornado tag. This is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag, which means it could produce a tornado. And look at the lightning, lots of lightning. There's our appendage, there's our hook, Benton, Alexander. So it is now just to the east of Bryant, and looks like if the storm continues to the east, it'll be just north of East End here shortly. Severe thunderstorm warning, producing a lot of very heavy rain in a short amount of time. Keeping a close eye on this. Nathan?
Well, Tom, when we take a look at what's happening across the rest of the region, once again, it's just this one lone cell, but it is a ugly cell moving right over Saline County and Pulaski County. Along with that, we have that tornado watch. It has been trimmed back for a large part of the THV11 viewing area, but they did keep it, fortunately for Saline County and Pulaski County, just because we have not seen any storms out there this evening. So our atmosphere was still primed for the potential, and it just took one storm to feed off that buffet of warm and very humid air, and this is the result. You have a storm that certainly is intensifying across the area, and this tornado watch goes all the way until 3 o'clock in the morning. I think once we get done with this cell here in Saline County and Pulaski County, our severe weather threat will pretty much be done for the overnight. However, Lonoke, Prairie counties, you're next in line with this cell, so just be on your guard because you could still see the potential that there could be enough rotation and maybe a tornado warning through the early morning hours. We've already seen that through the course of the evening, and that's why we are live here on THV11, also on the Facebook page, the THV11 Facebook page as well. When we take a look at the winds, those winds, the couplet, it's not showing up too much, but there's definitely some rotation. So what we're looking at is the red. Little Rock radar is in this part of the area, and you've got blue here. So you have this little bit of rotation happening right there. It's hard to spot. There's not much going on at the lower levels, but in the middle parts of this storm, that's why we're getting this hook echo shape when we look at the radar data in terms of the rain. And that hook echo, I mean, if this was like 10, 15 years ago, they would have gone tornado warned, because back then it seemed like almost every hook echo was tornado warned because this would show rotation. But now with technology and with research that we're always doing, we can clearly see that yes, there's rotation, but it's way up into the cloud at this time. So that's why they're not going with a tornado warning just yet. If this rotation continues to drop farther closer to the ground and also starts to pick up, that couplet becomes more tight, then they will go with the tornado warning. So just a heads up, Iron Springs, East End into Wrightsville, and there's the Dollar Generals lined up right there. This cell is headed in your direction. There's a little bit of rotation, so you just want to be on your guard and get ready. The severe weather threat has ended with this cell into Salem and Benton. It's just to the east of downtown Bryant. It's moving through Alexander at this time, and it's just a lot of heavy rain happening over southwest Little Rock. I mean, you can clearly see all this red showing up. So this is heavy rainfall, maybe even some pea to dime size hail in this part of the cell along Interstate 30, and there you see Highway 67 and also Interstate 630. So really, south of 630 is the worst core of this supercell, and that will continue to track its way off to the east and southeast, Tom.
Yeah, just keeping an eye on what the Weather Service has to say about it. You were talking about rotation. It's a very well-defined hook echo, but they're indicating there's not much low-level rotation. That's good news. We don't want it, of course, but we're here just in case. Severe thunderstorm warning until midnight and also until 12:15, and it's this area here near Shannon Hills, a little bit here. It's just not well defined. It's broad, it's there, just not strong rotation, but just in case. Iron Springs, you're in the path of this. Wrightsville down the road, even East End, Highway 367. Here's 530. I call it the split to go down to Sheridan. Sheridan's not going to be in danger. It's mainly southern parts of Pulaski County, southern parts of Saline, northern Jefferson County, Grant County. That's where we find the polygon. Excuse me, severe thunderstorm warning, 2 of them actually, and you can see, to me this looks like more of an outflow area here, Nathan, where the wind is blowing out and away.
Yeah, the National Weather Service is saying that's an RFD.
Okay.
So that was really technical. So it's a rear flank downdraft. So it's just the gust front. So as the storm collapses in the downdraft, it's pushing out a surge of wind, and that wind could be 40, 50, maybe as high as 60 miles per hour in some cases. So that's what we're watching for this area around Sardis and East End. You may not have the tornado threat necessarily, but you could still get straight line winds, and winds of that type of nature can still bring down trees, tree limbs, and also cause some power outages. So where you see where that brighter blue is, right here, that's where a wall of wind is moving through. And if it was daylight, you probably would see a shelf cloud in this type of situation about to approach Sardis, East End, Highway 167, and into that part of eastern Saline County. So we just have several factors we are watching. There's the heavy rain factor, there's the small hail, but certainly what we're concerned about more is going to be the damaging wind threat, and also still that threat that there could be an uptick in rotation that may try to produce a quick tornado. Here's the radar loop once again, or the radar. This is live radar. Still lots of lightning. That hasn't really changed. And it's just that classic signature, once again, of that hook echo. So we have the inflow going into the storm right over Iron Springs. You're probably experiencing winds going into the southeast direction, and then on the opposite side, Sardis is probably seeing a rush of wind coming from the north-northwest type direction. So that's why we have this little bit of rotation happening within this cell as it progresses its way towards Iron Springs, East End, Wrightsville, Rock-Taken, Interstate 530, and then on the northern flank of this system, it's just very heavy rainfall, lots of lightning, and maybe even some pea to dime size hail. And I know we're just kind of repeating ourselves, Tom, because this is it. There's no other cell happening in the entire THV11 viewing area. So if people are watching us like, what are you guys talking about? It's just right there over the heart of Little Rock.
It's just that it's late at night. It's the most densely populated part of Arkansas, here in central Arkansas. And I'm sure that some of you woke up, said, what's going on? That's why we're here. I want you to turn us on, and we'll walk you through it. Severe thunderstorm warning continues through 12:30. It's 11:49 right now, getting close to 11:50. You've got a new warning over in eastern Arkansas. And by the way, the counties that you see here are the responsibility of the Memphis National Weather Service. Or Memphis, I should say, television market, and out of the responsibility of the National Weather Service here in Little Rock. That's what's the remaining supercell thunderstorm that moved across the state earlier tonight and prompted all the warnings. And now we have this one cell, and it came together about an hour and a half ago, began to show some supercellular structure. We have the appendage that would lead you to believe that, oh man, this could produce a tornado. So that's what we have here going on tonight. Right now, it's some very heavy rainfall. It's been raining very heavily outside in the weather garden, and we're keeping an eye on it. Severe thunderstorm warnings, there's two polygons here. There's one part of this that's in effect until midnight. That'll disappear first, and it's this area here that's more east-southeasterly in terms of nature that continues to see the severe thunderstorm warning until 12:30. How much rain has fallen? Well, it's dumping a lot of very heavy rain in a short amount of time. A couple of inches of rain. Doppler radar rainfall estimates. What a mouthful. Over the last hour, showing maybe a good swath of 1 to 2, possibly more inches of rain getting into western Pulaski County, West Little Rock. Earlier tonight, during our weathercast, we showed you the projected rain amounts from both models, and that is from really today through Sunday, and they were picking up 2, 3, 4, 5 inches of rain easy with some of these downpours, and that's going to be the case. A few more rounds expected Wednesday, another round or two coming in Thursday and Friday to close out the week, but we're going to keep a chance of thunderstorms in the forecast all weekend long. But look at it, about 1.5 inches or more out near 4:30, and even more towards Saline County. There you go, lots of lightning still in place, and this lightning is very intense. We had a camera shot not long ago showing you what's going on. As long as we have this supercell all by itself and it's absorbing all the warmth and moisture that it can find, it's going to stay pretty strong. But we're keeping a close eye on what's happening on the southern flank of this near Iron Springs and now East End. Is it ramping up? Is it a little broader in rotation? The signs have been that it's been fairly broad. Got some hail with it. The hail size is somewhere around quarter or less, maybe some pea to dime-sized hail, and some very gusty winds with this severe thunderstorm. Moving to the east, southeast until 12:15, and you've got the tornado watch that's in effect until 3 a.m. Once the cell gets out of the way, the tornado watch will probably be lifted for the rest of central Arkansas. Then we'll start this process over again, possibly tomorrow, with an enhanced risk. And tomorrow is only about 8 minutes away. How about that? There you go. That's what we have for you right now with the severe thunderstorm warning, the strong thunderstorm over Pulaski County, with a little bit of it over southern Saline County, and just a tail end of a little bit of a thunderstorm in what's left in Woodruff County that's southeast of McCrory. It still shows some impressive lightning tonight.
Well, Tom, I don't know if you saw it, but the temperature before this cell developed was still 80 degrees, 81 degrees. So that tells you that the atmosphere was very ripe for that potential of a storm to really tap into the environment and reach its maximum potential. And that has been the case for several storms out there through the course of the evening. Fortunately, once again, we have not received any reports of damage in terms of if a tornado struck or not, but here are the latest reports. Just to give you a recap, we did have a report of a funnel cloud around Cleveland earlier, and then also into Russellville there has been a little bit of tree damage. Let's query some of these. This was from the cell earlier this evening. There you see power lines down in the middle of Jackson Avenue, and then also we have wind damage. Let me just move this query box here. Power lines also reported down on 6th Street in Russellville. And there you see there was a report of a funnel cloud also over Russellville. That was reported by a spotter. So the spotter said it did not make contact with the ground. So that's some great news. I mean, it can stay in the cloud as long as it wants, but then also that same cell or a different cell actually produced another funnel cloud over Cleveland. And again, if it's a funnel cloud, it's not a tornado. When a funnel cloud hits the ground or reaches the surface, then it becomes a tornado. And we have not seen that happen out there this evening. And hopefully that will continue to be the case. Nonetheless, we are still watching this supercell thunderstorm, a lone thunderstorm, still packing a punch. It is a spicy one. And we have a lot of lightning happening, still just torrential rainfall. Gully washer, frog strangler, whatever you want to call it. It is raining like cats and dogs out there from downtown Little Rock and down to the south. But when we take a look at the structure of this cell, it is still maintaining that appendage.
Yeah, still has it right there, extending down to around East End, Iron Springs, East End, really along Highway 367. And although it looks very impressive, Weather Service still says it's not really that impressive when it comes to rotation. But we've seen how these things work out before, and that's why we decided to jump on here and walk you through it here. It's a slow-moving severe thunderstorm dumping a lot of very heavy rain. It's raining buckets outside in the weather garden right now. There you go. And this is the way it's going to be the next few days. I think you're going to have to deal with really the possibility of some flooding rainfall across a good part of Arkansas as these waves of storms move on by. Frontal boundary stalling out, waves of energy riding along the front, a recipe for heavy rain. And tonight we've had these few individual supercell thunderstorms that have caught our attention. Earlier ones tonight were not involved in a watch. The watch was in northwest Arkansas. A line developed in the river valley. The line broke apart, and we had a few supercells. Tonight is a little bit different. Right now, we do have one lone supercell thunderstorm remaining. It's in Pulaski County, and it's got a tornado possible tag on it. The severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings have different tags. And not getting too wrapped up in it, we know that by looking at that and with the wording from the Weather Service, this one could produce a tornado. Hopefully not, but could. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. First part of it expires at midnight. The second part will expire at 12:15, and hopefully it'll weaken from there.
We'll just have to watch it scan by scan, Tom. Just because we have that supercell structure with it that is not as strong as what it once was when they first issued that severe thunderstorm warning. But you can never let your guard down when you do have a supercell showing up on radar, because strange things can happen, and especially being at night. We appreciate you watching us on the different platforms, whether it's on THV11 or Facebook or maybe YouTube, because you probably were awakened by the lightning and thunder and want to know what's happening out there right now across Little Rock Metro, and if there's any concern of a tornado, considering we are under tornado watch until 3 o'clock in the morning. And what we can tell you is heavy rain, lightning, certainly a good bet with this cell, maybe some pea to dime size hail. The tornado threat very, very low as of right now, and hopefully that will continue to be the case. When we take a look at the model situation, though, the weather models did not do a good job in the placement of supercells earlier this evening. We were telling you that the chance of storms would be going up late this evening into the overnight hours. Going into Wednesday, the timing of when these storms initiate and exactly where the clusters of storms will develop is always a tricky situation, because the models just can't get a real handle on something that is just spatially so small compared to what the actual model resolution is in terms of when we look at the GFS and the other models. This is the high resolution model we were looking at earlier last evening, and when we take a look at the newest model, again, you can't take it as exact truth. But here you go, this is 2 o'clock in the morning. It's still showing the potential of showers and storms, and then getting into 8 o'clock, looks like we'll see a break in the activity, maybe a few spotty showers, but then there could be another line of showers and storms that initiates into Oklahoma, and then that'll make its way into Arkansas. The timing of that next wave is still kind of up in the air. Some models are saying that it's going to wait later in the day, and if it does, if we have more sunshine and hotter temperatures than expected, then our atmosphere will be more prime for the potential of strong to severe thunderstorms later tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, maybe even into tomorrow night. But this model, this is the high resolution rapid refresh model, or the HRRR, as what we like to call it in the short terms. You can see what's happening here. It just shows that potential of showers and storms. This is 3 o'clock, lined up through the Ouachitas and possibly even into central Arkansas. This may or may not happen. We just don't know until those storms develop into Oklahoma. And then once we get more confidence in, okay, the storms have developed, now we know where they're going. Right now the storms haven't developed, so the models are like, can't really figure this out until that happens. I'm going to show you a different model here, and you can see that this situation with this model is a little bit different than what we just showed you on the past model. So this one is definitely more aggressive when it comes to tomorrow's situation, it looks like. Let's go through the timeline here. So here you go. This is 9 o'clock. So it looks like the chance of maybe a dry start to your Wednesday is certainly there. There still could be some spotty showers for the start of your Wednesday in some parts of the region, but there you see a line of storms moving into the River Valley, maybe as early as noon, and over into the Ouachitas. And this could be strong, maybe even severe. The main concerns tomorrow will be damaging wind gusts, large hail, but the tornado threat, it's also there. Actually, the tornado threat, I think, is a little bit higher than what we saw out there this evening. And considering this evening, it was fairly low across the River Valley. There you see 2 o'clock, and then getting into 4 or 5 o'clock. Now this one's saying most of the storms will be suppressed down to the south. Again, this is not going to be perfect, but we want to give you an idea. We're going to have waves of showers and thunderstorms make their way through, and each wave is capable of producing damaging wind gusts, large hail, and maybe even a quick tornado. Also, the flash flooding concerns. With heavy, heavy rainfall, some locations could certainly end up with 5 to 6 inches of rain as we go into the next several days, Tom.
The good news with the severe thunderstorm warning we have right now is that we've lost quite a bit of the identity with the rotation from within the cell. The first part of the warning has been allowed to expire 12:01. The rest of it will expire 12:15. So if we go back to a live wind mode, We can either do that with Storm Track 11 or we can do that with Max 1. It doesn't matter. You can see that there's really not much that shows a tight coupling. The good news is that it has spread out. It is broken apart a bit. It's become more outflow dominant in regards to the wind. You still could get some strong wind gusts with this supercell thunderstorm, and you can see those winds really moving across southern Pulaski County. 12:15 is when the rest of this expires, but I think Little Rock, downtown Little Rock, and to the west is pretty much in the clear. I would even carve that box back and only include the southeastern part of Pulaski County, southwestern Lonoke, and northern Jefferson counties until it goes through another cycling phase, if in fact it does, and it very well could. Part of the preemptive notion of doing this is because we are in a pretty large metropolitan area. A lot of folks are up late at night. Folks have PTSD from storms. I certainly understand that. So Nathan and I just walking you through what's going on right now and what we expect in the future. Here's what's left of this severe thunderstorm. This is reflectivity mode. It shows some very heavy rainfall here in the reds, might even have some small hail. If there's any type of appendage, it's near Wrightsville. And the cell continues to move to the east with a little bit of a southeast push. So I would say if you live Sweet Home, Little Rock, Sherwood, West Little Rock, things are good right now. Sylvan Hills, Ferndale, Pinnacle, looks like the storm is coming to an end for you, and the focus will be east of us. Now here's the outer part of the box, or the severe thunderstorm polygon. Keogh is right on that. England's on the other side. We'll see if the National Weather Service continues this severe thunderstorm warning to include more of Lonoke County and more of Jefferson County. Looks like the box has been adjusted. The storm is still strong. It's weakened a little bit. I think that we're good for right now in terms of our coverage. Nathan Scott's been here a while today. I'm sure he would like to go home because he's going to have to come back.
Have to go home and have dinner. That's why I got to.
You haven't had dinner yet. Okay.
I'm hungry.
So I'll be here to keep an eye on things till Tracy Bean comes in at 2 o'clock. So Nathan, we're going to wrap up here. Thanks for hanging out today, and
absolutely
good job on covering things around dinner hour tonight. That's what we're here for, to keep you safe. And from here, we'll be back on if necessary, and we'll break into all of our platforms if severe weather does permit.